Welcome back to our live coverage of the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House in 2023, celebrating 100 years of service to our community from the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department. We're joined now by the Chief of the West Bloomfield Township Fire Department, Chief Greg Flynn. 100 years of service to our community, it's a huge accomplishment for any fire department or for any group that's been around for 100 years. You know you're doing something right. So what does this milestone feel like for you and for your department, for your firefighters, to know that you've been able to serve this community for 100 years and you still have such great appreciation from the community to your department?
Well, we're very grateful for this, Tyler. Clearly, this wasn't necessarily built on the work that we're doing necessarily today. It's the work of firefighters from years past that have really laid a foundation that we built from and will continue to build from for years and years and years to come. So it's really an honor to be working and be a firefighter here at the West Bloomfield Fire Department. And it's a beautiful day to be celebrating 100 years.
And you see this department from every angle. You've been in this department for a number of years in a variety of capacities, even before you were the fire chief. Now, give us some insight into just how many different things our firefighters, our paramedics, and our EMTs are doing on a day-to-day basis, whether they're out on calls or they're back at their various fire stations, keeping our community safe.
So just like you feel changes in your everyday life, whether it's new technology or how we lock and unlock our doors. I remember coming to the fire station and you just punched in a little code and that opened up the door. Now it's a swipe card. And I think to some people, they're like, well, that's not a big deal. There's so many of those things that have reshaped what the fire service looks like compared to 25 years ago when I had the honor of joining the WBFD. So I think those play a role. The equipment plays a role. The needs within the community are shaping what it looks like. So, we didn't have electric vehicle fires. We didn't have hoverboards that were spontaneously igniting in homes. So there are those challenges that are facing us, but we have such a talented group of professionals that are coming. And as one of our members retires, we're just getting really bright, energetic, young firefighter paramedics that are coming in and filling that space and really just making us better.
One of my favorite examples of seeing that work in action is, so often because you're a government entity, you're supported through appropriated funds from West Bloomfield Township. And when it comes to government entities, so much of that discussion on how much to fund these groups or the importance of this group or that in the community is a debate between our leaders. It's not so much the case in West Bloomfield or in the Tri-Cities, but one of the great examples of showing our leaders and showing our community how our fire department works is Fire Ops 101 every year with our leaders coming in. Local media comes in as well. And it's really a great way to show how much work goes into being a firefighter, how much these firefighters have to know to do their day-to-day work all across our communities and partnering with others as well. Just how much of a factor does training constantly play into the role that our firefighters are playing every single day?
It plays a big role, Tyler, but it's not so much just checking the box that we're compliant with the training. What we want is competence in our training. We want to be able to demonstrate that our paramedics are exceeding expectations on our protocols and that our firefighters are well aware of changes in building construction so they understand how the structure's burning and flow paths. One of the demonstrations today, Tyler, I don't know if you've been able to see the burn model that we have going out there, but it's actually showing kids and adults that why we say sleep with your door closed, and that when you open that door, they can actually see from the front door how the smoke draws in when you open the upstairs bedroom door and creates this flow path through the house. So training of our firefighters, training of our community. Some of my remarks earlier were about all of us being ready, all of us being prepared for emergency. Fire is everyone's fight in a community, not just the fire department. Everyone plays a role.
We're joined by Chief Greg Flynn at the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House, celebrating 100 years of service in our community. You can join them and join us at Fire Station number 1, just north of West Bloomfield High School on Orchard Lake Road today from 12 noon to 3 p.m. on Sunday, October 1st. And of course, you can keep up to date on the fire department and fire safety tips all year round on their Facebook page as well as on wbtownship.org. Chief, for your department, a lot of special things that are going on at this fire department open house, but a lot of other educational opportunities from your department all throughout the year. How big of a factor does that community education also play in keeping our communities safe and helping your firefighters when emergencies do arise?
Well, we want to engage the community when they have the time. You know, on a beautiful day like this, we know that families are pulled towards our beautiful parks. They're pulled towards sporting events. So everyone isn't able to be here. So that those ongoing opportunities with the smokehouse being at one of the elementary schools or at one of the places of worship in the community, that keeps that messaging going. And I want to underscore it. And you always do such a great job of advocating for the fire department, Tyler, but underscoring that everyone needs to be aware of fire. And we focus on kids with plastic little red helmets and stuff, but adults, we know that one of the leading fatalities is our seniors that live alone. We see more seniors die in fires because of some of the practices that can take place when you're living alone. So the conversation is with the whole community. And again, it's the splash, it's all of those connections that we have with community that keep the fire safety talk going.
And what's been great too is we've gone from talking about the safety of our community as the paramount discussion point when we come to our fire department, when we talk about our public safety departments, and have lately been also focusing on that going the other way, the safety and the health and the wellness of those that are protecting us every day. And the mental health aspect of being a firefighter certainly takes a toll on our firefighters and our paramedics every single day. And I know that you and this department have played a big role locally in helping to eliminate that stigma and provide support systems for our firefighters. Just how much has that changed in recent years, and what steps have been taken by our local fire departments to protect our firefighters so that they can protect our community as best as possible?
We have made significant leaps forward in firefighter emotional health and wellness. And that is a compliment and an accomplishment of the firefighters in engine houses across Southeast Michigan, across the state. This isn't something, Tyler, that comes from the fire chief. I play a role just like the captains and the lieutenants, and every firefighter plays a role. But this is an individual commitment that we have to one another as humans. Taking the time to listen, taking the time to be sincere and authentic about how we're feeling. The firefighters do see, and the paramedics see, some very horrific things. We're trained for that. And our training also tells us that we need to have healthy ways of dealing with that. But we understand too, there's teachers that have hard jobs. You know, there's people that work in construction and in business that have hard jobs. At the end of the day, we all just need to have a little bit more grace with one another, have the conversation, be patient, and take advantage of the mental health professionals in our communities. They're there to help, and we need to reach out, and we need to do our part in maintaining our own mental health and wellness.
Lastly, Chief, the support from the community is palpable here at today's 100th anniversary special celebration of the Fire Department Open House, an annual event that always brings a great turnout out, but seeing the leadership from the statewide level and Representative Noah Arbit here, of course, our township board and officials from the Tri-Cities, and even Senator Gary Peters sending in a video of his well wishes to our department. Speak to that community support and how big of a role that ultimately does play in your department's day-to-day operations, and being able to know that you have people that you're supporting, they have your back as well.
Yeah, well, I really want to thank Senator Peters for taking the time to send us a message, and Representative Arbit and Township Supervisor Kaplan for taking the time today. The community support is big. As I look out here, I see my parents are here, and it was 25 years ago this year that I stood right in this exact same space that we're in. There was a fire truck behind here, and Chief Carl Borg gave me my badge after completing 1 year of probation, and my parents were standing right there too. So it's very, it's meaningful to me on a personal note here, and also my youngest son is standing there with them. A lot has changed, but one thing that hasn't changed, Tyler, is the commitment of the WBFD to the community that we serve. We've been here for 100 years. We're going to be here for well more than 100 more to come. And it is the men and the women of the WBFD that are on these red fire trucks that you see out at the Kroger or on the side of the street or in your neighbor's home. that care about this community. And we're grateful for the care that the community shows back with the support that we need to continue this operation. So again, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone that made it out today, and to those that couldn't, that wish they could be here. We feel that support on a daily basis with the waves and the smiles as the firefighters and the paramedics are about the community, and always grateful for your support too for me.